They got not the land because of their sword. Having a sword is not bad, but don't depend on the sword. Having a sword is powerful, but don't at any time depend on it. If you depend on your beauty, depend on your intelligence, you are not going to excel in life and in destiny. We read through the scriptures and we saw a mighty giant who had fought many wars and never lost one, by name Goliath. He was called the giant of God. He was about 13 feet tall with 6 fingers on each of the hands and then 6 toes on each of the legs. He was a giant. And David was only but 16 years, who was not preempted about the war. He didn't know that there was anything like a war. He just came to give food to his brothers at the battlefield and saw a mighty giant taunting the armies of God. He looked at this giant, he said, "You have so much confidence in your armor. You trust so much in your strength." He said to him, "But my trust is in the name of the Lord." Some may trust in chariots, others trust in their horses, but our trust is in the name of the Lord. This thing I'm teaching you now is also the key for finances. A lot of us pray prayers and then show God how to answer it. That is, we are praying for finances and we are already thinking who will give us the money. Have you not read in Isaiah chapter 60 that strangers will build your walls? God will so much favor you from unexpected quarters that you cannot imagine it. That shall be someone's story today. If I hear a loud amen, your miracle will come fast. So the little lad, David, picked up a stone and then released it. When Goliath saw the armor with which David came up against him, a stone and a sling, a catapult, he said, "Who brought this boy here? Does he think that this is a child's play?" Remember, I said they got not the land by their sword. God is not against you having a sword. God will want you to make an attempt. It is incumbent on the attempt you have made that God will use to be able to bring every giant down. That's why he said, "Whatsoever your hand touches shall be blessed." The word "whatsoever" means that the success does not come in that thing. Just do something, I will bless you. Whatsoever. It means it is not on the business. The blessing is not on the business. It's on the person. It's not on the business. It's not even location bound. It is on the person. It is on the person. Whatsoever. How can he tell you whatsoever? It means whatever you choose to do, even if it is pure water. I just need you to do something. Based on what you are doing, I will favor you. Somebody say here. Look for someone that is highly successful in a field, that has had a proven record of success in a particular field of endeavor, and then take him to a place where someone has not succeeded. The person will still succeed. Do you know why? Success is a person. Success is a person. Dominion is a person before it can be manifested. Dominion cannot be expressed until a man has come to the realm of dominion. So the dominion of every man is not in a place, is in a person. The dominion of every man is not in a place, it's in a person. The light that shines in Nigeria will shine in US. The same bulb that shines here will shine anywhere. So it is not location bound. There is no place you will take the light that is shining here and it will not shine another place. The voice that speaks here will speak anywhere. It is not location bound. It's not location bound. Lot made the mistake. Abraham was leaving his father's house and his mother's house, and then he looked at his nephew and then he said, "Follow me." And then he took him. And the Bible would later tell us that Lot, who also went with Abraham, was rich in cattle, was so blessed until he entered his head. He allowed the shepherds to begin to strive with the shepherds of Abraham. Of course, he sponsored it. There are those God has raised as the son. I beg you, no matter how annoyed you are with them, don't disconnect from them. Every Mary has an Elizabeth. Every Lot has an Abraham. No matter how annoyed you are, don't separate from your Abraham. There will always be a temptation of leaving your Abraham, especially when certain men rise. A couple of years ago, we have a story in this assembly of a man. The wife was in my crusade, and the Lord had spoken and said, you will take him and you will be with a son. But when you give birth to this son, he must be brought to the altar before he gets home, and I must pray for him. Of course, the person took him and then gave birth to this son. When he took him, he now remembered. They now remember there was a church that we attended. They now remember there was a fellowship that we attended. There are certain things that can't give way until certain energy is breathed on it. Don't forget the root that produced you. I didn't see them again. I saw the younger sister of the man, I think the man or the woman. I said, where are these people? You know, when we ask questions like that, they think we are asking for thanksgiving. Even if we are to ask for it, it is a worthy asking. But we don't. And then they didn't know that instruction that brought about this, that the other part of the fulfillment of that instruction, the priest has a word to speak. When the child was now finally in the hospital, hospitalized, they started calling me. And that was how the child died. I think the child had died already. They said the body of the child is still hot. They waited for several years for this son, for over 20 years. Listen, one of the errors of men is to think that men are same. You know, when Lot looked at Abraham, he would have thought, after all, everything Abraham is becoming is coming from me. He didn't know how empty he was until he departed from Abraham. Immediately he left Abraham, and then he chose a land that looks green. Abraham said, just give me anything. I'm a young man that the brothers connived and then gave him 4 ridges of land as his own portion, whereas the youngest brother took more than 3 plots. And the father said, you've never come to offer sacrifices to my God, but my other children have. So they persecuted him. He came, he was crying like a child. I said, why are you crying? He said, I am the second born. The youngest brothers have about 3 to 4 plots. My own is not even half of a quarter plot. I said, show me your hand. He showed me his hand. I said, there is oil here that can buy a nation. I said, go, even that one they gave to you, give it to your younger brother and tell them thank you. And then he cried. He went and gave it to his younger brother. I said, the day you do it, make sure you cook. Let everybody eat. And then he called the elders. And the father was looking at him. And then it wasn't long, they traveled abroad. And from abroad, sir, what he bought was 26 plots. At the road, how many plots? From abroad, he started building houses for widows. They were hearing it. 3 buildings in one compound. 3 buildings in one compound. Strip a man of honor and blessing. Everything he has now, he will replicate it. You didn't hear what I said. Abraham knew that. He told the king, he said, Let it not be said that you made me rich. I know where I'm going to. The blessing is a man. 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 So Lot separated from Abraham and sojourned to a place that looks green. Abraham went to a rocky ground that cannot support the growth of crops. But where Abraham went to would later become the most fertile of the lands on the earth. The Bible shows us why. Why Lot came here and then began to strategize on how to do business, on how to plant. Abraham got to that place and raised an altar. He raised an altar and he offered sacrifice. What do you do the first time you get that office? Raise an altar. What do you do the first time you get promoted? Raise an altar. What do you do when you get that shop? Acknowledge him. Raise an altar. Abraham raised an altar. Lot started strategizing in the arms of the flesh and he failed. So when the giant of God saw David with a sling and a stone, he said, who brought this boy here? He said, your own is not fighting. I'm coming to you and I will tear your flesh and just dash it to bits. David said, I fought with more serious animals. I fought with lions, overcame them, bears, and tore them with my hand. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? He released the stone. And then the Bible told us that the giant of God, he released the stone here. Normally, if it was the stone that killed him, he would have fallen backward. But he fell with his face. Which means as David released that tiniest of the stones, there was another invisible hand that hit Goliath from here and he fell. They got not the land by their strength. There is no self-made man anywhere. There are grace-made men. Every man that is made is helped. The help of God is the agency for the making of men. The help of God is the crucible that fashions men into greatness. That's what every man must ask at all times. Oh Lord, your help upon my life. Wherever you are in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, anywhere you are, if you get confused or at a very tight corner, sirs, don't think what to do. Bow down your head and ask him for help. If you ask God for help, no matter how difficult that environment is, solution must come. Somebody say here. You didn't say it loud. The louder you say it, the quicker your miracle will come.